Yeah, so we're going to be talking about solving this problem. So this is the problem that makes it impossible for us to connect to external data sources and receive data about important events. So the fundamental problem is that all these blockchain environments where we build these highly reliable contracts that are going to change the way people do commerce and they're going to create new trust relationships, those environments can't speak with external systems. Due to the way that mining occurs around the blocks and their transactions, there's actually no secure way to get the same miner set that you have to acquire external data. This creates something known as the Oracle problem or the smart contract connectivity problem. And what this effectively means is that you can write a contract about data in a chain, which is basically token data, ledger data, which natively lives in that environment, but you can't write a contract about any external events. So basically, neither Polkadot, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever other network, they cannot on their own speak to data sources due to the nature of decentralized consensus. There's nobody that's designated as the source of external information in the way that blocks are generated. And even if you were to designate somebody, you'd have a ton of trust issues.
So first of all, Sergey, would you like to stand up and introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Sergey Nazarov. I'm the CEO of smartcontract.com. What we do is allow existing financial infrastructure to connect and interact with next generation infrastructure like smart contract networks, Bitcoin, Ethereum, other networks. So the goal of our company is allowing you to take your existing infrastructure and use it to interact with these new smart contract networks and the new smart contract securities that we're all so excited about.
Actual usefulness of smart contracts, in our opinion, is their ability to replace all digital agreements in everything from the financial industry to insurance to trade finance to basically every digital agreement that you can think of that processes any real value.
Is there anything you'd like to share as your key takeaway?
Yes, I was kind of surprised by the degree, the appetite which senior folks had for actually implementing the technology in the near term. So when I started the challenge, I was thinking that the degree of appetite didn't exist, and by the end of the challenge, I had a very genuine feeling that this was a priority on a senior level agenda that was going to go to production in the near term, which I was very impressed by.
Thank you.
Now, fast forward to today, and I think I finally have discovered that thing that will make a world a more beautiful and functional place. Smart contracts.
What is it, just a more securitized way of doing this?
It's completely liquid, completely transparent, and the smart contract gives you ownership in perpetuity. You can sell the coin to somebody. The blockchain smart contract discloses.
This really puts on its head the notion of going public.
If we can solve this problem, then we can have all kinds of insurance contracts, interesting contracts related to, whatever you can think of about an external event. Shipping, weather, whatever category of contracts you're interested in, right? Now, the other thing that, the final point that we think is very important is that this is all done in kind of open source, community-driven, security audited manner. Because what we're really, I think what we're really focused on doing is building a shared, kind of global and shared public resource for people to solve this problem together. So this isn't as much about how does like just Chainlink solve this problem. It's more about how do you create a framework and how do you create a certain amount of assumptions about other people's ability to contribute to solving this problem, which means working on secure integration code, being a node operator with the right incentives, being a security auditor or security researcher that also has incentives to audit the integration code, the node's operation, the core code. And at that point, when we have kind of an open source, well, the people that need this, we've already seen them naturally contributing back to it. So part of the thing I think it's appropriate to look at in this presentation, in the spirit of kind of the Web3 Summit, which they've done a great job at putting together, by the way, is to look at how basically community participants can help build something like this for their own consumption and for the consumption of others, so we can all build these.
My last question is really about emerging technologies, such as APIs and distributed ledger technology. How is that making an impact on cross-border payments?
Well, absolutely. Swift GPI was invented, it started by the premise of improving the experience. With GPI, we built in APIs deliberately from the outset. APIs are a great technology that allow corporates to unlock value for having visibility on the payment flow. And now with the migration to ISO 20022, that will provide even more structure and possibilities for automation. So they can integrate it in their ERP. We're also using APIs to further integrate the GPI experience into DLT, distributed ledger-based ecosystems. We have developed a multi-bank standard that will provide even more structure and possibilities for automation.
We are a global, open and trusted ecosystem. You can do many of these things in a closed-loop solution, but it won't be ubiquitous, it won't have the reach.
The payment ecosystem should be a totally open ecosystem.
A truly modern payment system is the one that is open and enables the flow of payment to everyone and everywhere.
Over the last 2.5 years, we've been developing our GPI initiatives. The next step for us is to start linking the two together. But also interconnecting real-time payments platform that we do not operate. And this is precisely the scope of a proof of concept.
This is not about Swift doing everything itself. The whole idea is really to enable players to build value propositions on top. Business models that were not possible a couple of years ago are now possible. When you think of APIs, when you think of cloud, when you think of machine learning, big players are starting to get very interested in payments.
You have 180 currencies in the world. That's roughly 30,000 possible combinations of bridging that has to be done. But that has to be where we go. That is the nature of the challenge that we are trying to deal with.
What we want to do with the industry challenge is bring together the diverse parties, our customers, internal Swift teams, and the startups. If one of those groups is missing, this thing doesn't work. I'd like to welcome you up to our family table. We've got the 3 startups that we're going to be working with as part of our industry challenge here, seated around the table. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ask them to stand up and introduce themselves. So first of all, Sergey, would you like to stand up and introduce yourself, please?
My name is Sergey Nazarov. I'm the CEO of smartcontract.com.
In the future, we'll integrate with Chainlink. The bank will do off-chain payments through Swift. Then this payment information will pass from the Swift API to the Chainlink Oracle and the Chainlink Swift Oracle.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
2019 looks very, great for GPI. That's going to be the norm.
We want every payment on Swift to be a GPI payment by the end of 2020, worth more than $300 billion US. Worth more than $300 billion US. These numbers are truly amazing.
This concludes the Bankers Masterclass series in association with Swift on a new era in global payments.
Subscribe, guys. Leave a timestamp price in the comment below. So comment below with the price of Chainlink today. So 3 months, 4 months, 10 months, 12 months from now, you could take a look back at your comment and say, wow, amazing.